We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Today is my day, a brand new beginning.
Hi, and welcome to Talk Up Your Biz. This is a special edition. I'm Jean-Noel Bassior with my guest today from Israel, Yael Dor. Did I say your name correctly?
Yes.
And you,
so good to be here.
Yes.
And thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I know you were watching our show from Israel when
Yes.
Susan Levin and I were doing the show.
Yes.
And you have quite a background. We're going to be talking about family business today, which is a subject that is of interest to a lot of people who are involved in business with their families. But your background is interesting because you're not just a business person, you are an artist. You are an artist as well.
Right.
Right? You studied at the Fashion Design Institute in New York City. And you're an interior designer. You did that for 10 years. And then you ended up going into business with your family, right? What happened? Your father invited you into the business?
Yes. In 1982, when I graduated from FIT as an interior designer, my father came to me and asked me to join the business. And when he said to me, I was so surprised. I was actually shocked because he never talked to me about the business before. And it wasn't really my dream. And I had everything planned. My passion, my dream was to be a designer.
Right. So were you excited, though, when he asked you?
I was surprised, but I was very honored. And I felt like he said to me, I love you, for the first time. Because I grew up in a family that we didn't express feelings. We didn't have open communication. So for me, it was a big surprise, and it made me feel good.
Yeah, you've told me that it made you feel really excited, that it was like an honor he was kind of asking you, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Right. And the reason we're talking about family business is Yael is a real expert in family business because she was in the business for 27 years, correct?
Yes.
And you learned so much about so many challenges that families face when they're starting a business.
Yes.
And one of the big ones that you have spoken a lot about is communication,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yes.
So when your father asked you to join the family business, you stepped into this business, but were people communicating?
Well, actually, I just want to go back a little bit. And when he asked me, I said, well, I was honored, I felt good, but I told him I have to think about it. So it took about almost a year till I told him I'm coming. Can you go back to your question?
Well, when you finally did decide,
Yes.
because you thought it over carefully,
Yes.
which is always a good decision, right?
Yes.
Should people think carefully before?
Absolutely, absolutely. When I didn't even ask him what I'm going to do, why he wanted me to go work with him. I didn't ask anything, really.
Right.
I was just happy he approached me and talked to me about something that he cared about.
Right. So it was like exciting to have your father, who was founding this business, invite you into it. But there were many things that you didn't know at the time, right? That you found out later.
Yes.
And I know that one of the things that's so important in family business is communication.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's the key for any relationship, actually. But in family members working together, it's crucial to develop this skill of communication. If you can't really ask the question, if you can't confront your father, your mother, your brother, your sister with your thoughts, with your feelings, and you keep it to yourself, it's going to ruin the business. Absolutely.
Right.
It can ruin relationship.
Right. What happened to you? What were some of your personal experiences with that?
Well, going back to the beginning, I I had many ideas. I had, even though I had this dream before I joined the business to have a design, to be a designer, I always had a bag full of dreams.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy for me to, because I'm so creative, so it's easy for me to when I see something, I have a new dream. So I always came with a new idea, but I didn't know how to express it. I didn't know how to talk about it.
For the business, you mean?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I didn't have a skill of market my idea, and this is so important. I mean, in any business, if you work in a business, you have an idea, you learn how to present it. But when you in a family business, you get confused. Should I present my father as a businesswoman, as working in the business? I mean, what am I supposed to do? I mean, this is a family, this is a business. So we didn't really talk.
Yeah.
Even we didn't ask questions. We didn't talk. We didn't say what we feel, what we think. And it brought out a lot of confusion, a lot of anger, a lot of frustration from everybody. Even though we all wanted the business to succeed, but because of lack of communication,
that can really destroy a family business. One of the points that I have heard you make, and I thought it was a really good one, was that a family could build up a business together and then just have a disagreement about one little thing, maybe a little thing, maybe a big thing, and then what can happen? Disaster, right?
Yes.
What can happen? Just you've said they can lose everything, right?
Yeah, because sometime in a family relationship, my father can say something to the son, and because he doesn't say it in the right way, the other person, I mean the child, or understand it not in the right way. I mean, so he should say, okay, can you explain to me again? I don't know what you mean. Do you mean this? Do you mean that? So in a stressful business situation, if you don't build a format of communication, or you don't meet once a week, or it's your father throws something and you understand another thing, and you answer a different way, and you anger because he told me this but he meant this, so it's confusing.
Right, because I think one of the myths of family business is for those of us who have never been in a family business, but if you've been in a family business, if you're listening to this, you know what I'm talking about, that you think, oh, it's a family. They communicate, right?
Yes.
They understand each other. They all know who they are, right?
Yes.
But it's not always that way once you're in that business environment, right?
Right, because sometimes a father, I repeat what I said before, but I want to emphasize it, because sometimes it's like when a father says something, it hits you somewhere. Mm-hmm. It goes back in the past when you were 5 or 10,
right.
And you're not aware of it,
right.
And you react in the same way you reacted when you were 10.
Yeah, exactly. And what can that do to the business?
Yeah.
I mean, you got a big problem on the table, like how are we going to export more of these things to Japan? You know, oops, I'm 5 years old and he just said something that devastated me, right?
Yes, and it brings negative energy to the business. It affects the workers. It can do a lot of bad things to the business.
Right, and as you said, it can even destroy a business.
Yes.
Sometimes we hear about big businesses folding suddenly, and it's a family business, and maybe it was just like a dispute between two family members.
Yes.
And then the whole business is gone, right?
Yeah.
So you're working on a book, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. That's my passion now, and my big thing.
Yeah.
And the book is based on my story, 27 years in a family business, and as you said,
You're going to talk about these challenges, and I know that one of the biggest ones is communication. So an interesting point that you've said is that you can bring in experts to help, right? Relationship counselors.
Yeah.
But people don't usually do that, do they, in a family
yes,
business?
I think it's very important to bring a family therapist or a family business consultant or a coach. The variety is very big. You choose what's right for you at that time, at that moment. But it's impossible. You can't change things without the help of other people. You can't see the whole picture. Yeah, when you in the situation, you can't see it clear. So you need someone from the outside to show you and help you to be more aware. First of all, be aware of what's wrong and why you act the same way you act. Teach you and go with you hand by hand and show you the way. And you go to workshops, you do things together. But first of all, I think the most important thing is the founder or the owner to understand that this is the right path for the family, and it's the right path for him, and he's willing to go on this path, because family business is not for everyone.
It isn't, is it?
No. Absolutely not.
So how do you decide if it's right for you? What's your best advice to people?
I believe, and I'm positive, that it's only for people who are willing to invest in themselves. Not in the business, of course, but first to invest in themselves, in their growth, in their development, in their learning,
their talents.
I mean, it's a life process.
Right, because a story that, I've heard many times from people is, I didn't really want to go into the family business because, like you said, I mean, you were looking forward to a design career. You're artistic, right?
Yes.
But a lot of times people get trapped in a family business, right? And it doesn't really exercise their creativity, their skills. So how do you make this tough decision whether to go into the business or not? Or if you decide to go into the business, how can you express yourself in the family business?
Well, if there's no open communication and you have no skills, you are trapped. But there's a way to go out of the situation, go out of the family business, go out of the family, and look for a way to work on yourself. It's I think one of my biggest mistake that I never told my father that how much I respect him, how much I admire him, that he was so courageous to build something from nothing. I mean, he came to Israel in 1948 with a suitcase.
And he'd been through the Holocaust. Right?
Yeah, he's a Holocaust survivor, lost his family, and with his 2 hands build a beautiful business.
Pavement, right? Pavement blocks?
It's a factory that manufacture pavement blocks and all kind of cement products. And I never told him. I never show him really respect. I never really asked him, Father, please teach me what you know. Tell me your path. Tell me your story. Well, I know my father. It would be very hard for him to tell me his story. But I think when you're trapped, you have to look for a way to reach the other person. Don't think about yourself. Oh, I can't fulfill my dream. I can't do what I want. He talks to me not like this. No. You have to step out of who you are and reach the other person. That's another thing in family business, to see each other.
It's very hard, isn't it? Because, you're in this business environment. And I know you've said that was one reason it was particularly hard for you to reach out to your father
Yes.
because you also had this business relationship.
Yes.
And I imagine he was kind of closed emotionally anyway.
Yes.
But in the business environment, he was probably like all business, right? So how could you go to him even and express feelings like that? It must have been hard.
Yes, very, very hard.
Yeah.
And I think while you're talking, I said to myself, well, for my father, it would be better off if would have his business by himself and just hire people instead of bringing the family. But he had this dream about, because he lost his family in the Holocaust, he had this dream that the whole family is working together, a big happy family. And also he wanted to continue the legacy, the name Drogoshinsky was so important for him because he lost his father and mother and two sisters, and his brother. He didn't get to see his brother. His brother survived, but his brother lived. He lived after the war in Russia. And my father was looking for him, and when he found him, his brother worked for the KGB, and he was married a non-Jewish woman, and no one in his community knew, and also at his work as a KGB officer, didn't know that he was Jewish.
Wow.
So when he saw my father, he was shocked. He probably said to himself, now everybody's going to know that I'm Jewish, and I can't afford that to happen. And my father, he didn't understand. He just, when he saw his brother, he said, now I have family. Now he's going to invite me to his home. Now I'm going to feel what I was looking for so many years. I lost all the family. Now I have family. So he ran away. My father ran away from his brother. His brother was looking for him the whole night, but my father was hiding in a bush and just left and found a way to go back to Israel. But later on, he tried to contact his brother, but he never could.
So that's a very poignant story, and it
Yes.
shows how important it was to your father, like you say, to establish some security for the family, to
Yes.
work with the family. But as you said before, as the founder of the business, he didn't communicate his dreams, his
Yes.
hopes. He didn't really clearly communicate with you, did he?
No,
With the family
no.
members, right?
Yes.
About the purpose of the business, the objectives, the legacy, right?
No, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I just need to assume. I didn't even ask. I didn't ask any question. I didn't know.
You were young.
Yes, but it's I had no skills.
Yeah.
No skills.
No communication skills. So
Yeah.
you're writing this book because there's so much that people need to know so they can consciously go in
Yes.
to a family business,
Yes.
right? To communicate, like you said, all right, if they're not communicating, seek help. Don't be afraid to seek help. Yeah, it costs some money to bring in some outside experts, but boy, could it make a difference,
Yeah, and
right?
it's worth any
Right.
penny.
And then another thing you've said that I think is important is you've said that people could maybe from outside the family business, like they could start their own businesses, but still help the family business by contributing, being consultants, right? Or
Yeah, this is like a new model because many times in a families is like the founder. Like let's say take our business. It's pavement blocks, and I'm an artist, and I wanted to do other things. So I would build my own company with the help of the core company. And the core company can give me accounting services, law services, graphic services. Since they already get those services, they can offer me those services, their main services, and I'm as an artist or as a designer can offer them to develop like a new product.
uh-huh.
Have my own clients, but are my client, another client.
So you would still be connected with the family,
Yes.
and feel like you're contributing to the business, but you're a graphic artist, right?
Yes.
So that's like a new model you're talking about,
Yes,
right?
and also we can create a project that we all connected to this project, which is like a new baby.
Mm-hmm.
And we can maybe create a new business, a new project, a new community a project. I mean, there's so many creative things that can be done if there's just talking and respecting and being honest with each other. Even though sometimes we can hurt each other, but we can say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. But communication in relationship, it's so important, and it's a life changing.
And you do hear about so many examples of family businesses where people just don't get along, where they're complaining but it's such a simple matter of communication.
Yeah.
And that's part of your new model, is really communication has to come first, right? Even though it's a family business.
Yes, and family has to come first. I mean, you've got to invest in your family. If there's a problem, family come first. You do anything in your power to do to help the family, to have the family not falling apart. I mean, it's so important, because if the family is not strong, so the business is not going to survive forever. I mean, the whole idea about family business is to pass it from generation to generation. So how can you pass it from generation if you don't you put a lot of energy in thinking and money and consulting and workshop and going on trips together and project together? If you're not going to put all this energy in the family, it's like in a relationship. If you're not going to put time and thoughts and energy in a relationship, it's not going to last.
Right. So the thing is to think of a family business in the same way as a relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Constantly investing and thinking in creative way, to surprise, you've got to do all the time. I mean, it's if you're going to work together, it's a life job.
It's quite a commitment,
yes,
isn't it?
It is a commitment, but it's worth it. I mean, you can get so much out of it. I mean, it can make you a better person, a stronger person, more mature person, and can teach you so much about yourself. I mean, it's a whole world.
Yeah, it is a tremendous opportunity, although a lot of people kind of just don't see it, and it slips by them, right?
Yeah.
So if somebody is listening now and is thinking of joining the family business, what advice would you give them?
Read my book.
Read your book, because do they have to think carefully?
Yes, absolutely. You need to sit with yourself and make a list of questions. And start with the questions. Just start to ask questions.
Such as what's...
The first question you need to ask yourself, why do I want to join the family business?
That's a great one.
And
is there something I'd rather be doing? Or is there something, I mean...
What about the family business what is my dream? What is my passion? Is it go side by side with the family business? Why actually my father asked me to join the family business? What's family business for him? What's his dream? What's my dream?
Right.
But first, when you sit and you ask all these questions, and then you find a way to connect with the founder, the owner, the brother, the sisters, and you start a conversation. And you make situation that you could be in, and just talk.
Well, one thing I've learned from talking with you is it would make a lot of sense to share your dreams and to say, okay, you're inviting me into the family business, and my dream is to do this with my life. Does that fit your vision?
Yes.
Right? And if they say no, then maybe you can talk about, well, is there a way we could make this work? If I go into this profession, how can I work with you, right?
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to really have that discussion, right?
Yeah, have a dialogue, an open dialogue, and there must be, if the both the son or the daughter and the father wants really to work together, and the whole idea of passing it from generation to generation and leave a legacy, it's important to both parties, to the son, the daughter, and the father, so they find a way. But not that the father say, this is my even not saying, this is my dream, this is the business, and that's it.
Right. That was like the old model.
Yes.
That's not the new model.
No, absolutely not.
Now, what if somebody is already in the family business? Let's say like you spent 27 years, right?
Yes.
Let's say they're on their 10th year, okay? They're not happy, all
Yes.
right? What would you tell them?
I would tell, as I said before, just step out and find a way to connect, and at least express yourself
To connect with the
with
founder?
with the members that are working. Maybe start with one, then invite all of them, and just share your feelings and your thoughts. For the good, confront them. You know.
You've talked about regular family meetings, actually.
Yes.
I bet that's something a lot of family businesses don't have, right?
It's even if they have, depends. You need someone to
Kind of moderate it.
to run those meetings,
run it,
because
yeah.
you don't know how to run. You need to learn.
Yeah, that's true.
You need to learn. You need to learn how to present, like you make a presentation in front of an audience. I mean, it's not something you take lightly. You have to take it very seriously.
Yeah, because I have a feeling that a lot of people work together and then they say, like, I've been with you all week. I don't want to have another meeting, right? You know,
Yes.
and yet you're saying that
Yeah.
it's probably very important to
Yes.
have those regular meetings to increase communication.
Yes,
right?
yes. Sometimes you need to force yourself, because it's for a good cause. It's for the family, and family is important. If family is important to you, you should do it.
Right.
And it took me many years to understand the power of family, and how much I'm passionate about family.
That really shows, you know. So looking back, what would you have done differently had you been as aware and conscious as you are now?
I think step one, I would ask my father, why do you want me to join the business? Why now? Why now, when I'm just finished school, I got a job? Why now? Why? Just asking questions.
Well, you would have said, my future's before me. I just graduated from school, came to U.S., right? You studied.
Yes.
And now he's asking you to, take your life in a different direction.
Yes, but I would ask why, and I would ask how do you see me, what I'm going to do, how you see in the business. Even if it would be hard for him to answer, I would nag. I mean, I would find a way to get answers before entering, until
Right.
I'll really feel comfortable. If I'm not going to feel comfortable, I'm not going to go into the business.
Right. That's really important, because that's what you see in hindsight, right? Because you told me that you even signed papers you didn't even know what was on them, right?
Yes.
When he asked you, because you were so excited,
Yes.
right?
Well, that happened in 1999, when my father decided to pass the business to my sister and to myself. And he showed me he gave me the contract that I had to sign, and I was embarrassed. I was to ask him, listen, I have to go and get advice. I need to consult on this contract before I sign it. But I was insecure to tell him I need to go over it. I need to
Right.
read it. I need to
You
consult.
didn't read it,
Yeah,
even. Yeah,
yeah.
because you were just so happy your father asked you.
Yeah.
But it ended up that he put some things in that agreement that were not very comfortable, right?
Yes,
So-
and also I was happy in one hand, because I knew that now I can do what I want. Now I can lead the company in a different direction. But and also on the other hand, I didn't feel comfortable to tell my father that, well, I have to check your present. I have to check this big thing you gave me.
Yeah, I have to go over what you're asking me to sign here.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people just can't speak up, especially if it's a parent, he's the founder. Well, this has been really very valuable, Yael. I think for people who are thinking of joining the family business or who are currently in the family business, you've got great tips about, how to make it a better experience.
Yes.
And your book is going to be coming out maybe in a year or so? Or
I hope 2015. And also very important thing that part of the book, since the book is based on my story, the family story, my father's story, I'm looking for people who are working in family business, are willing to step out, tell their story from their heart, anything they want to say, and be part of
this book.
Yes.
Right. How can they contact you? What should they do?
They can contact me by mail, Yael, Yael speaks, @gmail.com.
Okay, so is it Yael speaks @gmail.com?
Yes.
Okay, Yael speaks @gmail.com.
Yes.
And you're inviting them to contact you and possibly be in the book sharing their experiences.
Yes.
And they can be anonymous if they want, if they
Yes.
don't have to have their name out there
Yeah.
unless they want to.
Yeah,
right?
not the name, not the company name,
Right.
where they come from, but
Right.
it's open to the whole world.
Yeah, you'll be doing interviews by email and possibly by phone or Skype, right? And,
Yes.
Right. So you're inviting the world to share their experience in family business.
Yeah, it could be founder, owner, first generation, second, third, fourth.
Whatever position you're in.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. This has been wonderful having you on the show. We look forward to the book and having
Thank you
back
very much.
on when it comes out.
Yes.
So thank you for joining us with Talk Up Your Biz. This has been a special edition with my guest Yael Dor. Until next time, remember, you're an expert. Get out there. Talk about your business whenever you can.
Today is my day, a brand new beginning. The future will blossom magnificently, 'cause today I'm planting the seed. To build a world closer to heaven. Planting a seed in my soul. I'm watching it grow. If you believe, we will make it together. Planting a seed in my soul. Our beauty will show. I'm taking a stand.